And now, ladies and gentlemen, we'll proceed with the next panel session, Transforming Claims and Underwriting with Technology, AI and Data Science. And before I call on stage the eminent industry expert panel members, a very quick run-through on the subject topics which this expert panel is going to decide and are going to discuss in front of you. Identifying the bottlenecks and pain points in customer journey with data, fraud detection in the insurance, challenges and solutions, enhancing underwriting and pricing with the help of RPA, artificial intelligence and machine learning driven insurance in underwriting for efficient and accurate risk assessment, how AI is transforming insurance claims today, reducing the turnaround and increasing the efficiency with technology in claims, and using the digital payments and AI to shorten end-to-end claim process, and many more. So ladies and gentlemen, without taking further time of yours, let me welcome the honorable panel members, and please help me welcome them with a big round of applause. Joining us first in the panel, Mr. Vikram Dandekar, Head of Data Science from IndiaFirst Life Insurance. Big round of applause to Vikram. Vikram, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Dr. Pankaj Srivastava, Head Fraud, Aditya Birla Health Insurance. A big round of applause to Dr. Srivastava. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat, Dr. Srivastava. Joining next in the panel, we have Mr. Arieddin Sheik, Head of Information Technology, Family Health Plan Insurance TPA. A big round of applause to Mr. Sheik. Welcome to the panel, Mr. Sheik. Please have your seat. Joining next in this panel, we have Dr. Abhijeet Ghosh, Senior Vice President and Head of Claims, Retail, UW and FWA, Aditya Birla Health Insurance. A big round of applause to Dr. Abhijeet Ghosh. Please have your seat, Dr. Ghosh. Joining next in this panel session, we have Dr. Shridhar Page, Head of IT, National Insurance Academy. A big round of applause to Dr. Shridhar. Doctor, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat, sir. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would like to call on our honorable panel moderator, Ms. Priya Deshmukh-Gilbile, Head Health Products Operation and Services, ICICI Lombard General Insurance. A big round of applause to Priya. Priya, welcome to the panel. And over to you. You have a fantastic panel with you, and I'm sure you're going to do an excellent job in moderating and captaining this panel. So all the best, and looking forward to a great session.
Thank you so much, and welcome to everybody after a break over the lunch. And I guess you all have had fantastic conversations since morning, and what a delight to really have a panel and the mix. People from life insurance, fraud abuse control, you have IT experts, data experts, and of course claims and underwriting from an insurance standpoint. So introducing the panel and the eminent panelists, I would like to ask the first question to Abhijeet, who heads the entire underwriting claims for Aditya Birla. Abhijeet, having worked for so many years in the industry and having seen the manual working style versus the automation and the new technologies that are emerging, as a business leader, what are your thoughts of the new technologies that are developing? And some thoughts around how AI and ML-driven insurance underwriting for efficient and accurate risk management.
Thanks, Priya, and thanks to the group for the invitation. Very humbled to be here. I would say over the last decade, we have seen a lot of innovations happening on the insurance space. And motor was the area where initially the innovation started. We could see fast tracking of the proposal inwarding, fast tracking of the underwriting, and fast tracking of the claims, but related to the motor part. And then we saw it slowly penetrating towards the health side also. And yes, we see a lot of new ideas coming on this space, that how everything can be fast tracked and how less and less data has to be asked from the customer, because there was a time when a lengthy form was asked for the customers to be filled. Then we tried to digitize it, and what we did, we asked the same customer to fill the form, but then click a picture, and we used to call it that we are now automated. So from that area, what we did was, as an industry, then we shifted to a way that the person has to now fill the same thing online. Now what I see is that we or the way we are headed is we will ask the customer less and less details to be filled, maybe his Aadhaar card or PAN card, and through lot of integrations, data, and with his obviously consent, the data can be pulled from the various sources. And if I stay specific to health, the way NHA and the health ministry is driving the ABHA project also, what we foresee is that huge amount of data can come only at the consent of the customer and nothing needs to be filled. We need not probe him for his past medical conditions, ask him and all. He just has to give us a okay and everything can be pulled in the system. So how easy it makes the journey. And this is what is all the digital, the technology advancement that is happening. Minimum questions being asked and then system running its own logics to give an outcome. And that's where the second part comes, that what is at the underwriting stage. So entry has been done, so proposal inverted. Now the stage is underwriting. Medical underwriting, if I talk about the claim, the health insurance side, bases lot of past data and the present data and the way the organization does the underwriting. Lot of AI ML tools have been built in the market. Lot of experimentations and POCs are being done, and I would say a lot of implementations in few companies have been initiated also. And basis that the system can decide whether this proposal is worthy enough to be inverted or not. And if worthy enough, then at what price, which means the loading aspect. And I see it from various angles how the AI/ML operates on the underwriting part. It can be as basics as system understanding what questions to ask. One proposal may get inverted with only 2 questions. One proposal may have subsequent questions and what we call it as reflex questionnaires. So basis the answer a person gives to a specific question, the system is smart enough to ask, probe more. I'll just take one example. Person says, I am not a diabetic. Okay, but in the question it is mentioned, is your sleep disturbed? The moment he says yes, why? Do you have an urge to go for urination at night? He says yes. So the system now knows why is he going for that urination. Is he not aware that he is diabetic? Because that also can be a case. This is how the reflect questionnaire works, and this is where AI/ML can play a huge role on what questions to ask. Obviously, the other aspects are what type of screening happens on the medical documents that have come either through Aadhaar card or the way he has uploaded the medical things. And then system, by knowing the philosophy of the company, by knowing the claims outgo of that, the cohort can give a decision that should I underwrite this or not. And again, if I underwrite, at what price, whether it's 5% loading, 10, 15, 20, 100, and so on. So these are the things which I have been seeing, and I would say every organization is at some stage of its journey towards implementing this.
Great. So, good to reflect how evolution has happened from, clicking a photo and calling it as automation, or maybe getting the consumer to really fill the data and calling it automation. I guess we've come a long way, as a country, as an industry. And insurance per se, it's all about a promise that is being made. Any class of insurance, whether it is life or health, that in case of any kind of adversity, any eventuality, we would take care of you. And that's dependent on two-way trust. And that's where the question of, ethical underwriting, making sure that right elicited disclosures are taken into place. And as you said, Abhijeet, it's all about gathering the primary and secondary data on the consumer and making that decision and intuitively getting the information. So amazing take. So hinging on the fact of trust, especially, whether it is life or health insurance, we have this issue of moral hazard. And that moral hazard really rubs onto genuine customers, thereby increasing the premium for the genuine customers, thereby increasing losses and long-term, challenges that are there. So what kind of automation and, technology, especially AI/ML, has been developed for fraud detection so that the genuine customers are impacted less, and there is a very sharp focus on the non-genuine ones, and elimination of those weeds are, taken care of. Pankaj, if you could just throw some light on that.
So thanks, Priya. I think as we are growing digitally, so fraud is also increasing. We have seen that during the COVID period, the fraud has increased up to 60%. And the more and more technology advanced, fraud is also getting advanced. The kind of fraud which we are saying 3 or 4 years before, 10 years before, when I used to investigate non-disclosure or PED cases. But nowadays, our problem is not pre-existing or non-disclosure cases. Our problem are acute condition cases, OPD to IPD conversion, hospitalization not justified. So all these such cases, I think AIML and analytic model is playing huge role in analyzing the data and giving the correct cases for investigation, which is really helpful because it is helping reducing the false positive case. And the current, most of the AIML model or analytic model, few days back, I think 3-4 months back, I've seen they are only referring on the structured data. But recently I've seen that many vendor came with, especially the PwC or EY, they come with a referral from unstructured data. And last week I was sitting with Paramount office with EY, and they have shown me the 3 interesting case study. They have shown me, first case, they have shown me that there is a one hospital discharge card from Hyderabad, Kamineni Hospital, and one discharge card from Pune Hospital, Samsuriya Hospital. And on discharge card that it is written after discharge, take follow-up on this particular mobile number. Mobile number on the Kamineni Hospital, Hyderabad, and mobile number on the hospital in Pune was same. Either one of the document is fake. This kind of analysis is not possible with routine system trigger or processing doctor. It is not possible with the routine, any type of the trigger. Without help of AI, it is not possible. Second case, they have shown me that one customer, this two claim, same set of the claim document, claimed by the 2 different insured. They shown with the help of the image analysis. Again, it is not possible because we are processing 1,000, 2,000 claims. It is not possible with the routine claim detection process or any routine analytic model. Third claim, they have shown me that real-time fraud detection model. They have shown me that we can detect the real-time fraud detection. They have shown me on the implant sticker in fracture cases, the GST invoice was fake. And they can able to detect on the real-time basis. I think all this thing is not possible without help of the AI and Gen AI especially, which is help in getting refer from unstructured data. And I think there is a few drawbacks are also there because sometimes it is a black box. Nobody is telling key from where this is taking. They are not teaching us basic. What are the cohort they are using and on what basis they are using. They are giving whether to investigate this, whether to investigate him. A lot of false positive cases is coming. So, and it is success rate, especially the success rate, which is the ask for top management. I am investigating basis on industry alert, basis on system trigger, basis on the processing doctor referral, basis on our AML model. But success rate more or less is coming same. Whereas the management expectation, when it is the AML model, it should be 70-80% success. And whether it is a system trigger, it can be lesser.
Interesting, and there's a lot of partnership that is coming in with the regulator, IIB, and across the industry. Not only one class of industry, across insurance, but various classes of insurance. Is interesting to see how automation can really eliminate that abuse, more than fraud, hard fraud, and thereby help the genuine customers to get claims processing experience faster. I mean, that's what really matters, right? How could we eliminate fraud and thereby give better experience to our customers and build that trust. When if you talk to the citizens, the layman, when it is the name of insurance, they would say, oh, whether my claim is going to get paid. That's the kind of cynicism that is existing. And with these technologies, we should be able to build that confidence and anchor that ultimately speaking, a genuine customer would get whatever experience that is expected. Now, based on that, back on that, backdrop, Arieddin, to you, how can we, what kind of technologies can be used to enhance the moment of truth? Anyone who buys insurance, actually doesn't want to use insurance, right? A genuine customer wants, to use insurance only for OPD, wellness, fit care, and all of that. Whether it is the living benefit, which is health, or otherwise, nobody wants to really be in a state of adversity. But when one falls into an adversity or a near and dear one, that moment of truth needs to be a wow moment, that I should care for the members or for myself and not worry about the forms to be filled and all of that. So what are the technologies, and how do you enhance that enhancement of experience while you eliminate leakage? So that's a question for you.
That's an interesting question, Priya. So when I actually joined the organization, like when I kind of asked this question, who are the key stakeholders? Like, so we have policyholders, we have insurance companies, because we are a TPA, and then we have provider network hospitals also. So, I mean, one of the most aspects as a TPA, like our entire KPIs are defined by two things. Like one, how fast we provide cashless approvals, and how fast we process reimbursement claims. Now, thanks to Anywhere Cashless, the new government regulation and all, now industry is moving towards increasing the percentage of cashless claims. So, I mean, historically, I've observed that, it started as like probably 2 hours. I mean, typically 1 to 2 hours is the timeline that we look at when a cashless claim is being processed. So, one interesting question we asked us is, can we really reduce this to, let's say, in minutes or seconds? So, when we started off this discussion, then we realized that, I mean, technically it is possible, but there's a lot of hard work to be done, and because it's not just a technical problem, it's a functional problem also, because there's a lot of doctor medical element that is involved in doing this. So it took a very long time, and then 7-8 months into it, and then we started off making this live, because this was extremely sensitive. As much as we depend on technology, when we are sending the approval letter, it is as good as we committing to the hospital that we will pay you, no matter whether the approval is true or false. So we started off like with 15-20 cases on day 1, day 2, and couple of weeks. Within like, it's been like 4-5 months now. We have almost proving 700 fresh pre-auth cases instantly in no time. I mean, it just typically takes seconds. And for us to reach this number to 1500, 1600, AI actually is going to play a lot of role there. Because a lot of elements like your billing and your, as much as the policy benefit plans are loaded in a structured format, still there are a lot of elements that, because insurance companies underwrite with a lot of new conditions now. I mean, because you can't create claims based on the system what TPA has. It's basically, it's all about customer, right? And this is where I see AI plays a crucial role in ensuring that we, kind of approve the claims or the cashless request in a very specific amounts, and also that the risk can be minimized, because here I'm talking about the risk, let's say a 2 lakh claim getting approved or a 1.5 lakh claim getting approved, the risk is very high. So this is one of the aspects that I think industry can focus on. And then with NHCX coming into picture as we speak, there's a workshop happening in IRD in Delhi. So this is further going to drive the cashless experience, and the time has to come down. And one of the other pain points that you have is the discharge, because as much as the final discharge, like as much as we say that okay, we will approve the claim in, let's say, so and so time, but again there are other elements at play there, because the doctor has to write the discharge summary. Because what happens is when a doctor comes to patient and says, hey, you are good to leave now, then the patient starts from that point in time, not when actually the hospital submits a claim to us. So
because everybody's swigging the food and Zeptoing the groceries, so they're expecting the same experience.
Absolutely. I think this is where I think this NHCX and backward integrations with systems, I think, is going to play a good role in solving the problem. And I think the other important aspect is the fraud, which I think Dr. Pankaj has informed. So, I mean, historically, FHPL was processing claims long before I even finished my college, or I joined college. So, we've been perfected the art of like, the structured data of it, like triggers and all of it. But I think the true value actually in identifying the fraud actually comes from unstructured data, like your forgeries and all of it. I think these are interesting times to adapt to technology and increase the value to all stakeholders, not just customers, but the entire players in the ecosystem.
Lovely, lovely, amazing, take. Now, Dr. Page, I would like to turn to you to ask you what are your thoughts on AI and DS, empowering insurance transformation and related challenges in fraud detection.
Am I?
Yes, you are.
Okay. So, aligning to the theme, and as Madam asked, first I'd like to congratulate Synix for organizing this particular great summit and this particular theme for panel 3. And we are having transforming underwriting and claims. with the technology, in particular AI and ML. So I'll split that into 3 or 4 parts. I'll confine to 3 minutes. Number 1 is transforming. And insurance industry across various LOBs, across various entire value chain, it is getting transformed. But when you talk about transformation, actually there are different ways of transformation. Number 1 is basically not only insurance companies, but industry as a whole is getting repositioned. Okay? Entire IT industry, IT, digital, analytics, DS, AI, all of them are focusing on insurance industry. Insurance industry has become the focal point. Okay? On one side, banking, a lot of automation has happened, but insurance side, primarily we are knowledge industry. Number 2, we are data industry. Lot of transformations are happening in terms of repositioning. Actually, industry is getting spun, okay? So a lot of changes are happening in that, and scaling also. As I said, that it is industry-wide. Coming to insurance industry, I said, not only knowledge industry, but it is a data-intensive industry, okay? And then I am coming to AI and ML. And when we talk about AI and ML, now we are reached to the stage that AI and ML, AI and DS, I mean AI, ML and DS, these are the two sides, these have become two sides of the same coin. Data science is all about data, insurance is all about data. So at least one point is common. Data science leads to getting insight, okay, that is knowledge out of that particular data in variety of forms. Insurance industry is also all about knowledge. Coming to AI, if we have to differentiate, though both of them are two sides of the same coin, that is okay, but AI is more about logic and data becomes fuel. That is also fine, okay? And if you look at the logic complexity in insurance as compared to many other industries, I've seen banking industry, earlier I was associated with the banking industry from IT perspective, I have seen that logic in insurance, whether it is life and especially general insurance side, okay, it is very, very complex as compared to banking industry. Okay, so and now I am coming to last part, that is underwriting and claims, and our other panelists have explained in the best way actually on underwriting, use of technology in underwriting as well as claims, including a reduction in TAT. So I'll focus more on how basically machine learning impacts claims detection as such. Okay, only on one or two points I'll mention. And when we talk about fraud detection, claim fraud detection, there are, just like we are having, there are a lot of challenges. Actually, I'll deal with a lot of challenges. At strategic level, there are challenges. There are challenges at tactical level related to fraud detection by using AI/ML, and there are operational challenges also. Again, on data side as well as on logic side. But in short, I'll tell you, the challenges revolve around TP, TN, FP, FN. What I mean is true positive, true negative. Just like in COVID, we know, all of us know, we have become familiar with these terms like true positive and true negative. Okay? And challenges are related to FP and FN, especially related to FP and FN. That is false positive and false negative. So when we say that true positive means predicted. Machine learning has predicted something that it is suspicious claim or even fraudulent claim, we say. And actually also, as per our historical data, it is fraudulent claim. Then there is no issue. True negative. Machine learning says that it is not fraudulent claim, it is genuine claim. And actually also, based on my trained data, earlier data and test data, okay, it says that it is genuine claim. False positive. Falsely, it is detecting as fraudulent claim or suspicious claim. And actually, it was not a fraudulent claim or a suspicious claim. What I mean by that, suppose we have to do fraud detection by using ML, what we require is take about past 10 years data. Out of that, we will find, okay, some claims were fraudulent claims, something like that. And then we have to divide that data into, say, 60%, 70, 40%, 70%, 30%, like that. And whatever is the past data of this one, okay, that machine learns based on that, and then we apply test data, that is remaining 30%, and detection happens. Okay, that is what is fraud detection. So coming to the point, false positive, if it does that one, falsely positive, that it is suspicious claim, when it is actually genuine claim, okay, in that case what happens? Unnecessarily, insurer will be telling client that we are going through that one, we are investigating it, and it will take time for settlement of the payment. So delay in payment, ultimately the impact is delay in payment. Other side is false negative, and that is more dangerous, more dangerous. So falsely, machine learning says that it is not fraudulent claim, it is genuine claim. Actually, it is not genuine claim. And in that case, it is direct financial loss to the insurer. So tactically we have to ensure that whatever model we select, classification models, these are all classification models, there are a number of models, okay? Whatever model ultimately we choose, we should choose based on FN as 0, false negative as 0. We should not have anything, a single instance where it is giving as FN. So just quick thoughts.
Yeah, thank you. And COVID taught us the negative is positive. So good analogy. So moving on to Vikram. Vikram, as a data science expert, all the inputs that our eminent panelists, and colleagues shared, all of that will be a distant dream if companies don't have organized data. And we know many of us don't have that kind of an information for the technologies, that we're talking about to work well, and that causes bottlenecks in the customer journey experiences. It causes pain points. So what are your thoughts on unblocking some of those, and what measures can a company take to invest as we are propelling towards that transformation?
Okay, it's a very interesting question. I've been in this industry for almost 22 years now, okay, and what I've seen happen is that what we used to do on a piece of pen and paper has now essentially got translated into either a web page or on a tablet device. But the proposal form has not undergone many changes per se. Okay, if you look at the number of life insurance companies that are there in the industry, across the industries, the process fundamentally remains the same. That you meet the customer, you categorize them into a particular segment at what life stage they belong to, and then you pitch the right product, the proposal form gets filled, the payment gets collected, and the policy gets issued. Now, over the last 20 years, this process has not changed. It's only been sort of digitized. From paper, we moved to a digital medium. What needs to change fundamentally, in my view, is that there has to be some amount of grassroots training that needs to happen on the subject of insurance. Okay, insurance always gets regarded as a taboo subject. Nobody wants to die. It's a difficult conversation. So as a result of that, we still see life insurance mostly as a push sale as compared to a pull sale. Okay, and so in that context, although the method of collecting data has changed, the data that we are still collecting remains the same. Even today, in most of the life insurance applications, you'll find that there are a set of health questions. Some company have 12, some company have 13. And in most of the cases, you'll find the answer is no. Now, the moment that happens, people who are not even aware that they're diabetic, people who are not even aware that they have certain health issues, they also sort of creep into your data. Okay, average income across life insurance companies, you'll find it's around 5 to 10 lakh rupees because nobody wants to disclose their income. The number of reasons why a life insurer would want to go back to a customer are also very limited. You only go back to the customer once in a year because that's when the renewal premium is due. So there is no data update feature already available. Okay, whereas when you compare it with other non-BFSI industries, if you take the examples of Flipkart, Amazon, here the users have a lot more buying power. They have a more deciding power, and the preferences, the taste, the points in time, the kind of purchase that they generate, all these data points are getting captured. However, in life insurance, all the softer aspects of data as to how much time the sale took, what time of the day did the sale happen, what was the period over which the sale happened, is this a repeat customer or not, at what life stage he's at. So these softer aspects, unfortunately, are still not getting captured in any of the core systems. And to top with that, most of us have core systems which are designed they were designed somewhere in 2000 and they still continue to be in the same way. Now in some companies we call them grandmother of the systems, and then everything else gets connected in the surround systems. So for the data to actually play a big role, the way companies are operating now also has to change. I mean, it's probably about time that 25 insurance companies come together and design a common proposal form. You don't have different proposal forms in different states for generating Aadhaar or PAN or KYC, So why is it that life insurance companies in India have different proposal forms? The only thing that changes in the proposal form is essentially the component of the product. Otherwise, it's the standard thing, right? Name, address, telephone number, nominee, appointee. And these things, if they're going to stay static over a period of time, these are not large changing dimensions. They're not small changing dimensions. They don't change frequently. I mean, yes, there are divorces, but the probability that a person stays married his whole life is much, much higher. So these things need to be built in such a way that you are actually able to, take advantage of data, shorten journeys. And so there was a project done by CIRSE to create a common ID. But that still has not taken off. But I'm grateful about the fact that in India now you have Aadhaar cards. At least that is some amount of standardization that's happened. There's a standardization in the way PAN cards are done. There's a standardization in the way voter cards, driving licenses are being done. Passports, thankfully, a standard document. So over a period of time, I foresee that all these standard documentations should come into a central repository. And this customer journey typically, just like in all the other applications that you join, any mobile applications that you sign in today, you either sign in with your mobile number or you sign in with your Gmail, Facebook, or any other ID. So somewhere, even in the life insurance or any BFSI industry for that matter, the customer journey has to be starting from that particular data point. The moment you enter the mobile number or the email ID, all the data which is relatively static gets fetched. And you actually focus the conversation purely on identifying what the need is. Only once we are able to do that, I think we can really shorten the customer experience. We can give a great experience, great turnaround times, and make the journey more faster, better, and
Great insights, as in de-jargonize, demystify, simplify, rather than, kind of moving on the opposite spectrum. So thank you for that, Vikram. Aditya, can I ask you, what's your advice for companies who are having primitive core systems, and rightfully so? Now with the, explosive growth and progress that is happening around AI and, data science and all the automation driven by that, how should companies transition? Because, that's the structure that really worked, in those times, in those scheme of things. A quick, 2 minutes, I'm just mindful of time, 2 minutes take on that. What's your advice to the company so that customer experience can be enhanced and personalization can be improved? Because that's the objective we all are working towards.
Yeah, that's an interesting question, Priya. See, I think it's very simple, if you ask me. See, just look at your customer touch points and see how the current experience is, right? And if you want to increase the experience to 10x, let's say I'll just take probably not more than a minute. So one of the challenges we see is the IR. A lot of cases and all again go to and fro and all because we raise queries to other hospitals or members. Now, we were actually working on this challenge. So we thought, how can we reduce it to probably zero? Of course, zero theoretically might be possible. In practical, there are a lot of challenges. So, a simple use case can be just analyze all the information that the customer is submitting, or a hospital or a member, and see what is missing there. Rather than, going through the entire cycle, somewhere after 5 days, you go and tell the customer that, hey, something is missing. So at the time of submission itself, if you're able to tell, okay, hey, this is what is required, so probably something is missing, or a check copy is missing, or a KYC is not properly scanned. I think these are some simple use cases that we can always look around us and then see how we can improvise it by 10x or more. So, yeah.
Great. Abhijeet, now zooming on to, claims, and ultimately that's the holy grail, right? All that we're doing and all that we're automating is to improve experience and ultimately improve the trust deficit that is existing as a taboo subject when people talk about insurance. What's your thought on how companies are evolving by using AI to really automate claims and thereby enhance customer experience? Any use case, very quick, 2 minutes, kind of inputs would be very helpful.
So again, just like in underwriting, there's a lot of, I would say, transformation that has happened on the AI/ML space, on the claims perspective. Rather, I would say claims is leading this race when I compare the other aspect, which is the underwriting. Because at the time of claims, you have much more data. The challenge at underwriting is the data is sketchy, not clear, people don't want to share and all. But in claims, it's the entire data that comes, starting from the claim form, to the type of treatment, to the past history of medical ailments and all those things. So the first challenge lies whether you can keep the data in a proper digital format, or it is just a click of a picture which you are saving. So it used to be the OCR, still it is the OCR, but the confidence level on that OCR has evolved over the last decade, I would say, from a 40% accuracy to there are, I would say, the startups who are saying 95%, 97% accuracy. So that matters a lot. Yeah. The other challenge was handwriting versus the printed. So the bigger hospitals, they have more of a PDF documents of the indoor case papers also, because nurses, they keep on entering in the HIS. But the mid-level and the smaller hospitals, they still rely on the handwriting and all those things. So OCR again becomes a challenge. But now again in the handwriting format also, there are certain tech companies who are saying about 80-85% accuracy. So these two things are actually helping the AI/ML part in the health claims journey. So one aspect which has been managed is, can I extract that information, create certain logics, create certain training modules, and guide the engine to give me, let's say, a score. The score will, as sir mentioned, true positive, true negative, false positive, false negative. They can start categorizing it, that these many cases I am 100% confident, so that is true positive. It will be, it is a straight pass. Here the true positive means it can be straight pass. So I am just changing a bit of the dynamics here. For a claims to be said STP, it has to be true positive, no problems. Then the challenge becomes on the other aspect. So again, basis the journey of the organization, maybe 5% can be true positive STP cases. Maybe soon it can become 10, 15, 20, and the journey goes on. The question is when it will reach 100, we don't know. But every organization has to travel its own journey. The type of data it is capturing, the type of transformation the organization is doing. And there is a lot of challenge when you do transformation, the legacy versus the new, transforming the data and all those things. So a lot of improvements have happened, basis which you can decide whether I should blindly approve this case or system can also approve. That is one aspect. That is from the admissibility perspective, I would say. The other is on the cost. Okay, it should be approved, but at what amount? So then again, AI is playing role, ML is playing role, from which you can identify the averages, quantums of the cases that should, or the amount that should get approved. There are a lot of systems now in place which can read the hospital tariff, which can read the final bill. They can identify the delta. If the delta is 0, then approve 100%. If the delta is high, as per the proportion of the high, you can divide and all those things. Also, we are seeing certain organizations, startups coming up with certain protocols. Now, basis the data you have extracted on the clinical, I would say the ICPs, indoor case papers, and correlating that with the clinical protocols, then also delta can be identified, whether that protocol is good or bad.
It's basically deviation management.
Deviation management, because it's more now on that aspect, because there will be certain cases which doesn't need any brain. Why to invest good manpower, good thought process into that? Can it go through a different process? That is where the first use case of AI/ML comes. Identify that and let it get processed. At least you free a part of bandwidth. Now it's up to you. You want to bring efficiency or give the processor more time to spend on the other case, which is a technically tougher case as compared to other. And that's how the journey has to be built. It takes time. Because in the initial phase, you have to do dual processing. So where a processor is taking, let's say, 5 minutes, now because it is both are coming, you may actually spend more time and effort. So it becomes 10. That openness has to be there. And all those organizations who are spending their efforts and their thought process on
so
that.
It's a good investment, you're saying.
Absolutely.
And ultimately speaking, it has to reduce cost and thereby make affordable products for the consumers. That's the objective. We've really, short on time. I just want to drive the best outcome out of this panel. Very quickly, Pankaj, to you. As we are evolving as an industry and as, customers are also trusting, sharing information on consent basis, we are going to keep it, manage that data privacy norms as well. The fraudsters are also evolving. They are also innovating. So what's your advice, very briefly, on what should insurance companies invest into in technology, basically, for better results and outcomes?
So, Priya, I think that whatever the technology is coming, whether it is AML, whether it is any analytic model, it is basis on the pattern analysis. After 10, 15 or 100 cases, because doing the analytic model,
it is an iterative learning thing.
They required at least 1,000 cases, 3,000 cases, and by that time fraud will happen. And fraudsters, they are more utilizing that technology than an insurance company. You can imagine that during COVID time, PDF editor was there. Many people, they are editing the COVID negative report. And many people, the insurance company, they bring up with a product like fixed benefit for COVID claim. And after 6 months, they will stop because they PDF editing karke people are claiming. Then when the insurance company started bleeding, they realized that these are the fake report. And after 6 months or 1 year, that software came whether you can identify whether this PDF is the actual report or it is the edited report. You can scan it and you can check it whether it is the original report. So it is digitization. I think it is a key for insurance business because we are moving to digital India. Our PMO vision is for a digital India. But yes, fraud is also happening. And major drawback, setback for us, at the time of selling the policy, everyone is moving for a digital payment, everything. But when it came to the litigation, the heads off to all the legal people. I'm coordinating with the legal people. I can understand the pain when it goes to legal.
That's the dichotomy of the whole system.
Proposal form, where is the customer consent, where is the good health declaration, and when it goes to court, he does not understand the ABCD of the insurance. He will say, go and settle the claim with 15% penalty.
Now, these are challenges we all face. Dr. Page, any kind of, very briefly, any kind of L&D, insights or inputs you have to evolve in this fast-changing environment so that our manpower, skill building is taken care of in this environment?
Yeah. Coming to L&D, learning and development strategy basically, and when we discuss, when we talk about learning and development strategies in the context of AI, ML and DS, because when I say AI, ML on one side and DS on other side, ML is something which is common in both, in data science as well as in AI. Okay, so I'll use AI and DS like that. So when we talk about basically L&D strategies in the context of AI and DS, there are two different perspectives. Number one is for people like us, learning and development strategies by the organization. And another is learning and development strategies for the machine, because it is machine learning. Machine has to learn. So what are our strategies for machine to learn properly? Are you getting my point? Then development strategy for the model. A lot of discussion was there on claims related part, whether it is on health side or motor side. So there cannot be a single model. We cannot apply motor claim model for health insurance, health claims or some other things. We cannot do that. So there cannot be general model as such. Okay. So learning strategies from organization point of view, I'll tell you one thing, that we have to think twice before outsourcing everything. We may outsource some part of development, we may outsource other things also, but we should never outsource thinking. AI, ML and DS is all about thinking. Okay? So in that case, to bridge the gap between human being, the way we think, we analyze, we understand, we learn, and the way machine learns, we have to bridge that gap. And in order to bridge that gap, basically enhancing knowledge, enhancing skills in terms of AI, ML and data science to make ourselves compatible with the way AIDS works. If that is there, things will go smooth. If there is more and more gap, that is going to create more and more problem, and then we will blame AIDS for failure.
No, sure. It's a divided house on whether to use connected ecosystem and the sharing of intelligence and IP that gets created over a period of time, or whether one should invest in totally in-housing and building everything in-house. So I guess these are things that evolve as you progress, and some bit of outsourcing can happen only and only if you understand the problem statement, if you know what is the solution that you're kind of trying to solve for, so to say. So Vikram, to you, a bird's eye view on what are the typical challenges you've touched upon, but typical challenges on data and data science that companies are facing, and a quick advice on what key takeaways you have for our audience today.
Key takeaways for?
What changes should they make in the day-to-day working, and going back to your point of simplicity?
So recently there was an article on LinkedIn where the Singapore government has gone ahead and taken a call to retrain people who have crossed the age of 40. Okay, and over the last 4-5 years, technology is evolving so fast that the moment something comes in new, people first think, oh, I'm going to lose my job. Oh, this is going to eat my job. And that sort of builds a resistance towards adopting the technology, point number 1. 2 is, a lot of people don't even know what the technology can do today. Okay, so there is a lot of debate as to what is AI, what is ML, what is data science. To put it very simply, these people have already existed with us for a long time. They were called statisticians. Okay, now they have sort of been labeled or classified as data scientists. But there has to be given a lot of importance now, even at the organizations, to get people trained on the fundamentals of what technology can do. So anytime there's a new technology that comes into the market, there has to be some sort of training programs conducted, creating a general awareness of what the AI can do. And that is when people will be able to see what the system can do for you. So when ChatGPT came in, everybody said, oh, ChatGPT can write contents and ChatGPT can do modeling. There were views that ChatGPT probably will replace all the AI/ML models itself. But that's not how it works. Okay, so there are a lot of myths which come around the moment a new technology or a new data platform comes in. So I think education is very, very important. It has to start across generations. It has to ensure that the older generation and the newer generation which adopts it faster, they're at least on the same page. It's not necessarily that I have to be an expert in everything, but I should be aware. So I think I'll leave my thoughts there. Education plays a big role, trying to bridge the gap between what's happening in the market, what is it that you are aware, and what is it that the system can do for you actually.
Great. So I think, being aware as to what's the context and what are we solving for. So on that note, I think we've had amazing conversation, fantastic insights by this eminent panel. And I guess from a claims and underwriting transformation, if we were to really reflect, it's, not technology first and, customer problem last. It's basically customer problem being solved with the help of technology and the advanced, nuances of new age, thought process that is coming to fore, and great insights on how do we automate, how do we really have faith that automation is not going to take away jobs, but going to make it more efficient for us to solve the complex problems that Abhijeet also spoke about. So great insights, and it was a great pleasure to really host you all, and thank you for your time. I truly enjoyed it.
Great. Can we have a big round of applause for this wonderful panel? And thank you so much, Priya, for wonderfully moderating this panel of experts here. I would quickly now like to call on stage Mr. Ashutosh Agarwal, Head of Customer Success, APAC from SS&C Blue Prism. Ashutosh, if you could kindly come on stage to do the honors, please. Thank you, Ashutosh. Please. We'll start with Mr. Vikram Dandekar from IndiaFirst Life Insurance for the felicitations. Ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for Mr. Vikram Dandekar for his wonderful contributions in the panel session. Moving next to Dr. Pankaj Srivastava from Aditya Birla Health Insurance. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Pankaj Srivastava for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Arieddin Sheik from Family Health Plan Insurance TPA. A big round of applause to Mr. Sheik for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Dr. Abhijeet Ghosh from Birla. A big round of applause to Dr. Ghosh for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Dr. Shridhar Page from National Insurance Academy. A big round of applause to Dr. Shridhar for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. And now, I would like to call on stage, to the center stage, Ms. Priya Deshmukh-Gilbile from ICICI Lombard General Insurance, our honorable moderator. A big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Priya for wonderfully moderating the panel session and captaining the ship. Thank you so much, Priya, and would request the panel members and Priya to kindly step forward for a group photograph. And Ashutosh, if you could also join them for a group photograph.